pineapple heads out there may or may not even be in a dating season, and some of Randy's audience may or may not be in a dating season, and that's totally fine. But if you are, or if you're aspiring to be, I think it's important that we don't leave this place without, offering some kind of encouragement or some kind of like way for you to be able to overcome any of these hardships of millennial dating. Is that cool with you? Is that cool to kind of go into that?
On with whatever the pineapple heads need.
Cool. Okay. So I would love to hear your perspective on why faith is important in dating and in relationships.
I think it sets the tone for the type of person you're going to be to somebody else.
Okay.
So I think having faith in a relationship with God, it kind of your call when dating somebody may just be for a season to get them to do better in certain areas. They may be inspired. You may go on a date and they may see you pray over your food, or they may hear how often you serve at church. That may be the sole purpose for that whole encounter. So I think, and you putting your life and living your life for Christ out loud in front of other people, is really everything. So faith and how you represent Christ and how you move through dating or whatever it is, it may be just what that person needs in that season.
So whenever you are mentioning like dating in this aspect, are you talking more so about like casual dating, like going on dates, or are you more so leaning towards like serious dating?
I mean, it could be either one, but I'm speaking to casual dating.
Okay, cool. I would definitely say that I agree with that, and I feel like faith is important in dating because I feel like faith is at the core of who you are. And so that should be what leads everything that you do. And so you definitely, want to not only you want to have an established faith or established and or growing faith. But also you want to be able to really lean on God in your dating process, being able to lean on your faith because, you don't want to lean on that person. You will definitely want to still lean on God because you would want to put so much on a person so fast. I think it's cool to share, but you may be encountering something or going through something or having a hard time while you're dating someone, and you don't want to put that on them prematurely. You want to, be able to lean into your relationship with God with that, and then, bring them in as you see fit. So that's why I would say that I feel like faith is important. That leads me to my next question, or my next talking point: discerning adversity.
Dating should be fun.
Okay.
That's it. So I mean, there's no joint of the household with the bills. A lot of interaction with the in-laws. There's no kids. There's no deciding what's for dinner together. There's no all the stresses that people get divorced over are not in dating.
Okay.
Go out to eat, have fun, get to learn the person, fall in love with the person. Y'all go out, just leave it there. Dating should be fun. If I'm just into my boyfriend because of blah, 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 leave. What are we talking about?
Okay.
Yeah, so if he a hothead before the wedding, he gonna be a hothead after the wedding. If she's selfish before the wedding and y'all into it of her being selfish, she gonna be even more selfish when she gets you locked in. Go work on you, and you go work on you as individuals, and maybe the Lord will bring y'all back together. Me personally, yeah. I'm not gonna be stressed out behind a girlfriend. That's me.
Okay.
I don't really have any tips over adversity because y'all don't need to face none. Go ahead. Okay. I want to hear your, because you're gonna give me a different perspective. I want to hear it.
Well, if you're casually dating, I would say absolutely. I would say and it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, your deal makers, and what you're looking for in a potential partner. So if you're casually dating someone and y'all are having a lot of issues and stuff, kind of in the first dating where Randy was saying it's supposed to be fun, these are flags on the play. We kind of maybe need to stop and reassess some things. If it's on a more serious side of dating, and maybe you guys are dating more seriously, and you are potentially going to be engaged to be married or engaged, I feel like if you encounter adversity, then it's where we're like able to have a conversation. Like, I think, because things may come up and you may need to have a little sit down talk about that. You may need to have some talks about things. That's just what I think. And even have a conversation, to see if maybe one of the obstacles that are presenting itself is, do we still need to continue to walk this out? I don't know if I necessarily like subscribe to the philosophy of just like bouncing out. I don't know if I 100% subscribe to that, because I feel like conversations are important and context is important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Agreements. You're two human beings, two different. You're gonna have disagreements. I'm not saying that first argument you bounce out. I don't believe in that. But if y'all can't communicate, then y'all won't be able to communicate after the wedding.
Okay. So I'm kind of picking up what you're putting down. If there's things that a person is dealing with, and you mentioned like hot-headedness and selfishness, if that's something that they're dealing with before and just in the dating, you're saying that it's gonna more than likely, like once you get married, amplify after you get married. And I think it may be a case-by-case basis, but I would just still love to hear, do you think that those obstacles are worth navigating and not letting them stop the relationship, especially if you guys feel that you're called to be together?
Yeah, if you're seeing a change in behavior though.
After the conversation, or
after y'all had conversation and say, hey, this is what I'm needing from you, this is what I'm needing from you, and then you start to see a consistent change in behavior, we all get comfortable. That's cool if you stay. I'm glad that y'all stayed and worked it out. Okay. If he gets more selfish, if he gets more upset quicker, if his conversations go from just DM conversations to sending pictures, are you good there, or you still gonna thug it out because you're a rider? If you good with it, sis, stay. If you good with it, bro, by all means, man, y'all stay and enjoy this function. But I'm just saying, life it don't have to go like that. And oftentimes people go through adversity and they come back stronger, better. They went to counseling, they worked that thing out. Awesome. But my whole thing is, some things that we just don't have to experience, and there are a lot of things that when you get to a certain point in life, as an individual, you ain't gotta deal with no more.
Okay. I mean, I'm enjoying this because I feel like the dialogue is healthy, that there will be people that would, agree with that perspective, that people that, may have a mixed opinion. Absolutely. This is a pretty hot topic. I think this is a great place of dialogue. So I would love to know what you guys out there think about this.
Absolutely.
About this issue. Like, if in dating you're experiencing adversity, would you think that it would be something to maybe have a conversation about, or would that be like a signal for you to like, all right, I'm cool on you and I'll see you later? Like, drop some tea on that. I would definitely love to know.
Please do.
And I will definitely be sure to send that over to Randy and be like, this is what the delegation is saying. Okay, about that.
I want to hear from all the pineapple heads too. Yeah, I want to know.
Yes, all of the pineapple heads, new, upcoming, all of you guys. We want to hear from you. Just to kind of go into my next point, I think it's important to normalize serious and intimate but lighthearted questioning. I think people need to ask more like serious questions when it comes to like dating. And I'm not saying like bog the brother down with like silly stuff. I think, you're getting to know someone. In the dating, it's fun. But I think what's fun about it, at least this is a little bit of the perspective that I have, is that you're getting to like see life kind of from somebody else's vantage point. And I think that those are like points of connection that you have. And so I think we should normalize like knowing more about somebody than their favorite color, or like, what kind of food they like to eat. Like, I think it's kind of more than that. I'm not saying to get too crazy, but I think we should normalize having like healthy, kind of more intimate levels of conversation. I'm all 100% for going out to eat. I'm 100% for like going out and doing social things and having fun. Like, everything is not going to be no counseling session. Everything is not, we come for the Lord. Everything is not that. But I think just integrating that and normalizing having some, legit conversations. What is your perspective on that?
I agree 100%. Yeah, I won't bombard somebody with questions. I'm gonna crack a lot of jokes, whatever. But there's just some life experiences there's some things that I've experienced and stuff that I've learned that let's just go ahead and get this out the way in our first few conversations, because we may be good with moving forward, or I may need to direct you to a therapist. So I'm joking. Joke pineapple head.
Randy is the cap king, okay? He is cap backwards, cap to the side like T.I. He don't care. He'll cap whatever.
I'm joking. You may find out early. And so it's better to find out early before your heart gets invested in whatever the situation is. And then at that point, we'll start to minimize these red flags that we know we need to walk away from. Yeah. So but why is light? Why is just a physical attraction and this person is cool? Go ahead and get that stuff out the way. You may find out that they say, I will never let this XYZ go, and it be a deal breaker for you. So now you think you're going to change his or her mind. You're not. You're going to lose. Yeah. Pray for their heart if it's a vice or something like that. Pray for their heart. And I'm too old for now. We made it past our broke days and all that stuff like that, man. Let's travel and have fun. Like, when we gonna argue, let's argue over what kind of countertops we're gonna put in the house. Like, let's argue over what island we're going to.
Look, that's some adult kind of conversation right there, okay? Because you may be a quartz guy. I may want to have concrete countertops.
You can pick the island last time. I want to pick the island this time we're going to.
Yeah, either one. Are we, Maldives, Bora Bora? Like, whichever one. Yeah, I agree. We're being funny about it. But in dating, in getting to know somebody, like, there are some things that may be a trigger for you, but when you really like let it boil down, it could be kind of just like a petty like youism. Like, these are just things that are me, and right. I think being open and honest with whoever you're dating is important. But some stuff you just gotta take to God and be like, God, it's me. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be tripping. Yeah, I'll be tripping. I'll be tripping sometimes. Yeah, I'm very self-aware, so I'll be tripping sometimes. Yeah, I'm very self-aware. I can laugh about it, but it's like, normalize. Let's get it out the way early. What type of person you are, and kind of how you navigate through life, and I'll see if I can roll with it or not, and you see if you can roll with me or not.
I think that's fair. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in a dating situation and you find yourself, kind of tripping over some things or being triggered by things, if you're in situations like that, I think, like I said earlier, we were being funny about it, but you definitely want to normalize having like intentional conversations. And, I think it's important to, number one, self-assess and see, like, is it something that, am I tripping or am I not? And even like go to wise counsel and see like, hey, this is kind of bothering me. Is this something you think I should bring up or not? And then also to assess that person. Sometimes it may be a delivery thing. Like, sometimes they may be honestly tripping, but then sometimes it could be a perception thing. And, like, keeping it as light as possible, but at the same time, like, keeping it lighthearted, but normalizing, like, having in-depth conversations, because you really want to get to know somebody beyond just a surface level thing, especially if you got to want to get serious stuff. Randy, if you could, give the men and women some encouraging things that they should know about dating.
So number one, we'll go to the basics. If you are a believer, are they saved? Right? So, and what is their relationship like with God? And then you watch. Then from there, I say watch their patterns. Do they? If you're a person of action, and most women are, I say look and see if they can finish something. Watch their patterns. If they start and stop everything they do, that's the same thing they're gonna do with your relationship. Mm. So if they're kind of inconsistent with how they serve, do they serve at church? That's very important, because if they're actively serving at church, then they probably have a decent community surrounded by them.
That's good.
And get a chance to just talk. Ideally, we are called to wait till we're married. But if something happens and y'all slip up, it really confuses things. So get to know them and hear their heart on subjects. Watch how they react. I I know it's games and stuff, but I tell my sister if she were dating somebody, make him mad. I want you to see how he reacts when he's mad. So find out, watch how they respond and watch how they react to stuff. Watch how they're disciplined with their finances. Watch how they respond and react to people on social media. Watch the type of pictures that they post. Watch how they interact with with people when y'all are out. And then look at their circle too. So if Buddy hangs with 6 other guys that mess with women, he's a 7. Because there comes a point in your growth in Christ where you stop getting invites from certain people to certain places. Why is he still getting invited? I don't know. That goes the other way too. If your girl is coming home and she's saying something along the lines of such and such is doing this, such and such is blah blah blah. Okay, that makes you that uncomfortable that you can come home and vent to me about it, but you still go. Watch people's patterns. I really don't feel like going, but I'm gonna go ahead and go because she came to my birthday. If you really didn't feel, I've seen what you act like when you don't really want to go somewhere.
Ooh.
I've seen how you act I've seen how you act there. You want to go. Yeah, I've asked one of my spiritual little sisters. I've asked them, do you really want a man of God? Yeah, I want to blah blah blah. I'm like, do you really though? I said, what if he begins to correct their behavior or an activity that you've been doing your whole life and nobody's ever checked you on it, but he does because it doesn't line up with the word of God. Are you gonna be good with it? He's the first one to check you on this. And that's what it's like when there's a pastor in the house. You're going to get checked on it. If Adam would have checked Eve, sin never would have got introduced into the garden.
They can't hear you in the
back. Genesis 3, if Adam would have checked Eve, sin never gets introduced into the garden.
Yeah.
So, and then here's the last thing, and I'm done because I got to go to my Genesis 3 piece, and I tell this to everybody I know. Is that you got to trust this person to be able to knock that fruit out your hand, even though it looked good to you. You got to trust who you with to see your blind spot. They're with you. They want to see the best for you. You just got to trust them to see that blind spot. And if they wrong, what have you lost by cutting off that relationship? What have you really lost? If your spouse comes first, for real, like you say they do. Not just when it's easy. I'm done.
I can't disagree. I can't disagree with that. I cannot disagree with that. You know, in all seriousness though, this is a beauty platform and we talk about all different kinds of things on here, but at the core of it, this is a faith-based platform. And so my perspectives are going to be shaped off of that. Ultimately, I believe that it's important to let God's love lead your dating process. That's just the end of it. And the reason that I say that is because scripture talks about how can you love me and who you haven't seen, but you can love your brother. If God being who he is, all-knowing, all-seeing, omnipotent, and you have a hard time trusting him, you may run into some difficulty trusting somebody that you actually can see as well, just because we're human. But I think letting God's love lead you in that, you should be able to trust God, and then your spouse should be an extension of them. The person that you're with may have flaws, right? Everybody has flaws. Nobody's perfect. If, God has called them and they are who they say they are, their heart is going to ultimately be to see you be the best you in Christ that you can. I think marriage is a gift and it's an extension of God's grace and God's love. I feel like your partner is supposed to help you get a job well done at the end. They're supposed to help you with, like being able to live out reflection of Christ walking. That's just what I think and I believe when it comes to marriage. Dating, you're kind of figuring out if that person is that, but when it comes to marriage, I feel like that's just what it is. So when it comes to dating and just going out to eat and having fun and, going on casual dates, let God's love lead in that. One thing that I do know is that, like, in dating, sometimes insecurities can come up big time because, you're getting to know somebody. You can be unsure about, what, until you get to know them, what they may have meant by something, or, you may have received something a certain kind of way. And in your getting to know them, it may be unsettling at first. And so now you're dealing with an insecurity, right? There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. But you have to be able to trust God enough to take that not only to him, but take that to them. And, like, hey, this is just something that I deal with. This is something that I saw. Oh, can we have a conversation about it? But I think that goes to trusting God and letting him lead in that, because giving it to God first, ultimately he'll give you what to say or how to navigate those kinds of things. That's just personally what I think. And I think too that in dating and relationships, if you are living your life for God and you are walking out a Christian lifestyle, that you should be constantly and continuously being transformed by God's word, like by the Holy Spirit, by your relationship with God. You should constantly be transforming into the likeness of Christ, right? That was a scripture you shared. What was it? Romans 12:2? The renewing of your mind. Don't be conformed to the patterns, but be renewed. And so that way you know what God's good, pleasing, and perfect will is.
Good and acceptable, perfect. Yeah, you good.
Okay, cool. It's the translation. So even when it comes to your dating, did they leave you better than when you met them? Were you able to be impacted in any kind of way? Because it goes beyond just like getting flowers and getting cards and getting your meal paid for. Right. So that's just what I think. Let God's love lead your process.
It's okay. Somebody lets you know that you aren't for them. I've seen women try to change people's mind before. Don't do that. If a man is saying something along the lines of he's not ready for XYZ, yeah, just believe him. He could have played you.
Yeah.
He could have just led you on and just went through the motions and all the stuff like that. So, but yeah, and then that's vice versa. They're expressing where they are, and just believe them. They told you. If they come back around and you're still available, y'all can have that conversation. But you got to respect it, I'm telling you. You got to respect it.
That's real. You saying if somebody play a spade, just go on and call it a spade.
They told you they wasn't ready. Yeah, so just believe them. It's okay. You're gonna be fine. And to the divorcees, don't hold nobody hostage for what your spouse did or what you went through. If you're called to be remarried or whatever it is, you'll find out the reason why you went through all that hell whenever you went through your divorce. You'll be fine. You'll be all right. No doubt. Life gets sweeter after a little adversity. Yeah.
That is such a beautiful perspective to have. And that leads me into really the conclusion of this section. But I would love to just leave the pineapple heads, the randans, or whatever you want to call your community. I would just love to leave some words of encouragement for the people who may be feeling discouraged in their dating, or like you mentioned, like they may be a divorcee and, just dealing with like the fallout from that. They feel like millennial dating is the ghetto and they're just discouraged in the process. I would love for us to both leave them with some kind of encouragement to help pull them through.
So dating and marriage is not the end all be all for life. You're called to so much more. So don't put so much stock on that. The dating and it's the grand prize. The work really begins once you get married. That's a level of grind that God may say that you're not ready for at the moment. You got to be consistent. You can't give up. You got to do it on days you don't feel like it. So to the discouraged one, just live. Make sure you know your purpose and the call in your life and move in that gift. Fine. If you don't know, that's fine too. You need to be serving somewhere. And what you'll find out in service, you may find a love for people that you didn't know you had, or a love for children, or a love for the elderly. That you figure all that out before you find somebody. Get yourself together. Get you a little savings account. Get your credit together. Work all that stuff in your single. Start the business while you can put all your time. Go back to school, whatever it is, where you can put all your time and attention to that. Don't get married or whatever it is, and you still trying to figure kind of life out. Like, don't do that. Get together, married, and at the point where y'all can just enjoy life together. To the divorcee, heal. If you're going through a divorce, start counseling then. I went to counseling for 6 months after my divorce just to make sure I was straight. It's cool. Yeah, you'll learn some stuff and you'll be healed and not bitter. Don't carry that bitterness or hardness in your heart. Myself and my kids' mother, we talk all the time. We crack jokes on each other. We have a great co-parenting situation. just be cool. When you get cool with yourself, you're okay with that. When you hold that bitterness and hardness in your heart, you're not going to be able to receive when somebody loves you properly, because you're going to think that they have an angle or something like that. So heal, take time to yourself, find something that you like to do, find your purpose, and serve and love people. As you're going through discouraging times and you face a little adversity, make sure that you keep planting good seeds. Because eventually, whatever type of seed that you plant, your season of adversity has lasted for 5 years because you've continued to be petty and plant bad seeds, and you just continue to reap that harvest. So you can end that season of adversity. I believe you can end it a whole lot sooner if you just kind of keep loving people and keep serving and keep planting good seeds. So just keep your head up. You'll be fine. My DMs are open for whatever somebody needs to talk. I don't screenshot and post anything. I don't do any of that. So you can reach out at Randy C. Mays.
And that, my friends, is Randy and his TED Talk. So definitely, I would definitely recommend to follow Randy at Randy C. Mays. I would not have him on this platform if I had not peeked out the scene and believed that he could be beneficial to anybody's life. He definitely would not be up on here. Okay. And I feel like y'all know that about me. So if you're looking for some different kind of encouraging content and somebody that's actually consistent on social media, Randy's your guy. That was great, by the way. That was really great. I could just leave a little word of encouragement to somebody who may be experiencing discouragement in their dating process. I would say to really get solid in what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. I would say to really get solid in your relationship with God, and I would say really get solid in the people in your community and the people that are called to you. The reason why I say that is because sometimes the anticipation of something is the worst part of it. Like sometimes anticipating when something is going to happen, when I'm going to get a date, or when I'm going to get married, or when is this going to turn around for me. Sometimes the anticipation of it can really become torment if you're not actively surrendering that feeling and you're not actively doing something else to kind of feel that. Really get serious and grounded in your relationship with God. Number one, like God is the one that's going to be able to fill any kind of void that you have, that's going to be able to heal any hurt that you may have. God is the one that leads us into life. And getting solid with the Lord would be my encouragement. What I would implore to anybody that may be experiencing discouragement when it comes to dating. Being close to God, like God doesn't withhold any good thing from his children. And that includes you. God is not going to withhold the best of you from yourself. Like, no, God's going to give you the best of you, but you have to connect to the vine. You have to connect to him. Also, like really, really like grind out whatever you're doing. If you're watching this and you're like a business owner, or you have a business that you're wanting to start, or, if you're in corporate America, I'll talk to the pineapple heads too. If you're in corporate America and there's a position that you're trying to get at the job, do your due diligence. If you're trying to get into real estate, if you're trying to start a blog, if you're trying to go back to school, like do whatever you can for yourself and really put your heart and your focus into something. But I think Randy touched on it a little bit earlier. You don't want to get in a situation and you find out like 10 years down the line that you haven't lived any life for you. And so I think it's important to cultivate with God, of course, as much life as you can, whether that be in business, whether that be in ministry. Cultivate as much life as you can before you get married. You're busy doing all that, and then time will fly. You'll look up, and then somebody will be like, I think you are really cute. I'm like, I think you cute too. So, and the last thing would just be to really build a community. I think that's the biggest thing. Finding like-minded individuals that you're able to connect to and lean on, like people that are going where you're going. I think that's the most important thing about like connecting to community. I kind of want to develop a community that's going to be able to inspire you and push you to where you're going. And cultivating a good community is ultimately like that. I would 100% recommend that to anybody who's maybe feeling discouraged in their dating. Purpose is really what we're here to do. We're here for a purpose. We're literally human beings placed here on earth for a purpose. And marriage is just a part of that. Dating is just a part of that. But connecting to a good a good community, a good godly community is definitely going to be my last piece of encouragement. Like, I would encourage anybody to do that because, you know, when days get tough, hey, you need to have some people to lean on. So, and also, marriage is a prize. Marriage is not the prize. God doesn't call us to run the race, to strive for marriage, and that's it. Like, I think even Randy said earlier, like, the real work begins after you're married. So in the dating process, if you're discouraged by how long it's taking, girlfriend, listen, like, it's some real work that comes with it. So, you know, that's not the only prize. It's a prize, but it's not the prize. If you are a Christian and you're walking out a Christian lifestyle and you're wanting to please God, the ultimate prize is getting the will done at the end of your life and leaving this earth empty. Not like going to the grave with dreams in your heart, or going to the grave not having fulfilled your purpose, or not having had poured out all that you could while you were still here. So I know that probably got a little deep, but I think that it was important to say because, you know, ultimately, like, I'm down for dating and I'm down for, you know, relationships and marriage. But at the end of the day, like, you are two separate people becoming one. And you want to come into the oneness with some oneness. You want to come into it like being a whole person.
Agreed.
So the last part is, can I get the check? We are fixing to bounce up out of here. I'm going to call you an honorary pineapple head for tonight. You are an honorary pineapple head. Guys, this was a good one. What do you think? Like, comment down below. Like, you know, tell us. We want to hear your feedback. And I just wanted to give a special heartfelt thank you to my special guest, Randy C. Mays. He did an amazing job. You guys, give him some claps. He did such an amazing job. I'm sure there may have been some questions that left him feeling like he was in the hot seat, but he didn't sweat too much. You know, he kept it solid under pressure. And so I definitely appreciate, you know, him coming on and giving his time and sharing his perspective. His perspective was just very refreshing, and it was also very encouraging. Again, we talked about, you know, which one was harder, millennial dating or making sure your wig doesn't slide back in public. I definitely think that millennial dating is harder. What is your conclusion, Randy? Which one is harder for you? Is it keeping your lace down in public or millennial dating? Which one is harder?
I understand a lot of bad wigs, sis. I understand it, but I'm gonna go millennial dating, and here's what I want to do for one of your pineapple heads. You have the wig grips on your website?
I have them for purchase. Yes.
You have them for purchase. Okay. If somebody is humble enough to admit that they're struggling with wig slippage in 2021, because I talked about people with the slippage, right? So I have to be man enough to want to fix the problem. We're gonna do it for 3 women. We'll do it for 3. I want to buy 3 wig slips. They gotta be humble enough to reach out to you and say they need help, though. If they don't reach out, no deal. But if they reach out, I want to buy 3 of the wig grip. We want to stop the slippage. We want to stop it. If people want to be married, we want to get them married. And this is the slippage is stopping them from getting married.
Okay.
We want to deal with the slippage. We want to get y'all some men's.
Well, we definitely appreciate Randy for his contribution to the wig society. Okay, you know, Randy he's a secret member of the lace lifestyle, but we're not going to get into that. But he, you know, appreciates the lace lifestyle, and he wants to help us out. And so we, ladies, do appreciate that. And we appreciate a man that will want to help, right? We appreciate that.
I'm just here to help.
So yes, if you need a wig grip, hit me up. So Randy, please tell the people where they're able to find you. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Randy C. Mays. And in my bio is also a link to the podcast I'm a part of, the Wayne's World podcast. So you guys can check that out. We have an interesting perspective for y'all there as well. So follow me. You can be in my DMs are open for conversations pertaining to this topic.
And I do believe you have some shirts. Am I correct? Shirt situation going on?
I do. The Jesus My Plug is my brand and my shirts. That link is in the bio as well. So y'all definitely check that out. I got some more stuff coming there. So make sure to follow me for updates on all the new products and podcasts.
Perfect. Is there anything else you would like to share? Are all hearts and minds clear? Is there anything else you have?
No, we good. Thank you for sharing your platform and inviting me on here. That means a lot. People's platforms are their babies. So the fact that you let me share with you, I really appreciate it.
Cool. Absolutely. Sure, you guys, to like this video, give us some thumbs up, okay? We have worked very diligently on this broadcast, okay? And we would love to just have the support of you, whether you're an OG Pineapple Head, whether you're still on the fence about it, or whether you're new. We love all of it, okay? And so we would just definitely love your support by having just giving some thumbs up, and also to subscribe to the YouTube channel, CrownLux TV. We definitely appreciate that. And also give me a follow on Instagram at crownlux.co. And lastly, my last ask, share this video. We want this content to get to as many people as possible. We believe that these conversations are very candid, authentic, and that they could potentially help somebody. And I believe it was kind of entertaining. What do you guys think? What do you think, Randy? You think it was entertaining?
Super entertaining.
Yes, our Instagram handles are here. Well, his is right there. Mine is right here. Okay. Be sure to follow us on social media and to tune into Salon Talk. I broadcast every Thursday. And I'll be on there next Thursday. Randy won't be on there next Thursday, but I do want to know, you guys, if you would like for Randy to be a guest on another Salon Talk in the future, hit me up and let me know. Depending on what the Pineapple Heads say. Okay. Yeah. But ultimately, you guys, I'm so thankful to be here and so thankful that this was able to happen. And thank you, Randy. Thank you, Pineapple Heads, for tuning in. Yeah. And on that note, I think we're good. I think we're good to go. So I want to say good night to you guys. I love you, Pineapple Heads, and y'all be safe. See ya.